What's up everybody, Coach Mills here, and in this video we're going to be breaking down the 50k Flashpoint tournament match of Sentinels versus Immortals. And specifically we're going to be VOD reviewing Sinatra, who did this to Immortals. Look how he had above a 400 combat score. That is crazy nuts. And if you want to learn how to do it just like Sinatra, then watch the damn video until the end. I guarantee that you're going to learn a thing or two. Now Sinatra is the best player in the world in my opinion. Unlike a player like Wardell, whose entire team enabled that playstyle, Sinatra enables the entire team. He is the opposite. He's the one that goes in, he's the one that creates opportunity, and he does it without opping. So let's break it all down and break it down step by step so you could see just how he has so much impact in these pro matches. But speaking of impact, the GameLeap.com website has in-depth advanced tips and tricks, VOD reviews made by Radiant tier talent, and much more. Do yourself a favor right now during our 50% off sale and go make yourself broken in the links down below, and I can't wait to see you there. Now kicking it right off the bat, I want you to notice what Sinatra is doing on pistol round. He is rocking the freaking frenzy on Phoenix, and this man loves traditional weapons because he loves messing with my tier list, because then all of a sudden I have to put frenzy higher up. No, I'm just kidding, but he actually uses the frenzy to destroy here, and I'm pretty sure that the biggest reason that he's doing this on Phoenix in particular is because unlike the Ghost, the frenzy is only 400 credits, which means he can buy 2 flashes, which is what he does, because flashes matter a lot more than that little bit of extra firepower. And of course, having a frenzy in his opinion is more important than having something like a classic pistol, because he can convert flashes plus frenzy fire into actual kills, which is exactly what you want to be doing in pistol round on a pop flasher. Now, after both teams frag out in different ways, check out this engagement by Sinatra with the frenzy. Know how he sees the Silva's body and simply sprays him through the wall with the frenzy, which is something that you can do realistically with the frenzy that you wouldn't be able to do to anywhere near the same amount with something like a classic pistol. Now, he gets an instant kill, and then he will instantly jump away to safety, then he can reset and reload. Now, Sinatra is low health here, but watch how he uses this hot hands in a way that I absolutely love, and you should use it in your games as well. He throws it into this right corner while he pushes to take that space. Not only does that heal him, but it actually damages the enemy jet on the other side. So it does 2 things. It prevents the enemy from holding close, and it gives him control of that space as well while healing him. This is something you should definitely try in your games. It's multi-use, and finding multiple uses out of one of your abilities can be so good for your game, so definitely try it. Afterwards, he ends up killing her, gets an easy 3k with a frenzy. I mean, sign me up. This is freaking awesome. Try using the frenzy in your game, specifically on a character like Phoenix, when you can mix and match your abilities in a way that is far better than using the pistol. But remember that actually Sinatra practices the frenzy a lot in training. He practices it a lot on stream. So if you're going to be using the frenzy a lot in your games, make sure you put a decent amount of practice into it, because it is a hard weapon to control, but Sinatra seems to be able to still duel people at that mid range because he has a lot better control with the weapon. Now moving into this next round, watch how super aggressive he is versus the enemy team. You see, he upgrades his frenzy to a Spectre and full armor, so if the enemy is light, buying, or forcing, he will be at an advantage no matter what. Now the second he hears a step, he flashes and swings and catches 2 blind. Now he swings out, back in, and peeks out again because he realizes that the enemy is just using a pistol, because the enemy fires at him several times and doesn't convert on any kills, and he can hear the weapon, quickly identifying that it's a sheriff. Now the second he gets blinded, he throws down hot hands at the choke, which is something you should always do to prevent enemies from pushing you. When you don't know if enemies are pushing you or not and you don't have the means to punish them, turn your abilities into a way to stop enemies from pushing, which is exactly what he does here. A big problem that a lot of Phoenix players have, specifically ones at lower ranks, really overvalue the healing aspect of Phoenix abilities instead of their offensive capabilities at stopping pushes, blocking LOS, or the many uses of Phoenix abilities. Honestly, healing is at the bottom of the barrel as far as what these abilities can do and the strategic advantage that they give you. Now, after Sinatra realizes that he's not going to get rushed, he gets his vision back, he flashes out, swings again, but unfortunately misses nothing, confirms no kill. That being said, the enemy is on pistols and Sinatra has confirmed that already, so he doesn't have to fear at all, especially at a pro level. You're never going to find force buys where part of the team forces and part of the team doesn't force. Typically, almost the entire team is going to force if they're trying to go for that kind of X game style play. Now, honestly, pistols or not, Sinatra loves mixing it up and being unpredictable. Blind peeks this angle, kills Omen, and gets spiked down. Now, he wraps to the left side, doesn't reload his weapon notably, and deals damage to the Jet with only 8 ammo left in his gun, switches to the pistol, chases her down, and kills her. Now, he ultimately goes in and dies here, but this was a convincing round win by Sentinels, and a lot of it was based on the back of Sinatra not only playing very aggressively, but identifying that the enemy team were definitely on a pistol round. He knew where they were, and he wanted to close out the round as quickly as possible without the enemy team being able to upgrade their guns at all. This sort of aggressive play that really closes out the round is exactly what you want to be doing to prevent the enemy forever upgrading their weapons, potentially rotating around, and turning a game that they have no business winning, especially when you have full information about them. Seek them out and destroy them and just end the game right there in that round right away. Now, moving on to the next play. This is a meta strategy that I have to talk about. I know it doesn't have anything to do with Sinatra specifically, but it is absolutely crazy. A wall smoke combo that makes a lot of sense to me that Sentinels are doing, so we gotta break it down here. Now, Zombs will, on defense, wall outside of showers, and Sick, the Sage player, will run in and wall off the orb while she grabs it. They will secure the orb, and they will get out before the enemy can break the wall and kill them. Now, you might be asking why they do this. Well, first, this denies the enemy an orb. This gets an orb at the low cost of a wall and smoke. And then a lot of people are asking, okay, what about holding mid? Well, Sentinel specifically values grabbing these orbs more, and they will do this strategy over and over again. In my opinion, this makes a lot of sense because at the end of the day, you're going to get a huge ultimate advantage from this, being able to grab the orb over and over again, and being able to do that, having a powerful ultimate like Rez, while denying the enemy as many ultimates. I think this is a really interesting strategy, and I'm also curious if this is going to be something that other teams pick up, maybe even in other scenarios where you invest abilities to specifically go for orbs that you normally wouldn't be able to go. Definitely let me know what you think about this meta strategy in the comments down below. Now, in this next breakdown, watch as Sinatra throws his hot hands into Hookah to create more pressure. Now, after the first kill, check where Sinatra spams for the second kill. This is exactly where you should be aiming at if enemies are towards the back of Hookah, to where you will wall bang towards their head. Now, something interesting about this is that Sinatra's hot hands split the enemy to either the front or the back of Hookah. The person in the front, he quickly took that duel, and the people in the back were susceptible to his wall bang spot at the bottom little ledge of Hookah, which means that it really created some type of tactical engagement, which I really like from Sinatra's gameplay, and I'm going to be breaking down more examples of this in a second. Now, Sick comes in hot also and finishes off the enemy team through TP, but remember that it's very important for you as the engager. Like, I'm sure that Sinatra was calling to Sick when the flank is good, because that's a lot of the problem that going through a teleporter creates, right? You want to go through the teleporter, make a play, but you don't know if the entire team is just waiting for you, right? So if you're on point or engaging the enemy, you should be the one calling to the person, say, hey, go through teleporter, go through teleporter. That is the call that you make while you're engaging the enemy, because you know that they are too busy, and that pressure will either create you opportunity, or your pressure will create your person going through TP opportunity. That is what you should be doing every single time. Now, I know this is a Sinatra VOD, but I have to break down this incredible play by an underrated player in Dicey. You see, he kicks it off with an op shot, making this a 1v3. And I love what he does here next, where he instantly thinks about how to secure the spike and rotation, which are the most important things to think about. I'm serious, they are so important to think about, and it's something that a lot of players don't. And by the time you wait a little bit, you don't think about how to secure that spike, the enemy are going to get in positions to where it's impossible for you to get that spike, and then your win condition will be lost. So he instantly thinks about that. He smokes the spike to cover up his grab of the spike. He grabs the spike and then dashes to TP. Now, watch this crazy no-scope he gets on Sinatra. Absolutely nutty. What in the world is that? Then he whips out his ultimate, his knives. Now, the enemy's gonna rest and it's gonna be back to 1v3, but I want you to really watch how he takes this engagement. So first he plants here, which is really important. When you're in a numbers disadvantage, you have to create a scenario where there's pressure on the enemy, and planting the spike forces action, which is almost necessary to force the enemies to play into you. That is the one advantage that you can gain when you have such a numbers disadvantage. Now, the sage who chases him on top gets sent to the doctor because she's sick. Get it? Okay, anyways. He kills her very easily, then instantly smokes to block off information. Because you got to remember, after he kills that enemy, the enemies are all going to know where he's at. So he has to do something to circumvent that information. Because remember, if enemies know where you are, it's very easy for them to make a play on you. Now, he smokes off to block the information, and then he will dash into absolutely nothing. This, 1, cuts off information. 2, the fake dash makes it so that his positioning is completely unknown. And I love this play because enemies just don't know where to expect him. And with his incredibly fast time to kill, that is the most important thing that he needs right now. Now, he's going to wrap around, take care of the enemies one at a time. And he's actually going to get a technical ace this round because he got 5 kills with the enemies rezzing. A nutty play by Dicey. And I love to break down these plays where he really mind games the enemies, understands his win condition, instantly identifies that he needs to grab the spike and rotate. I mean, there's so many things he does right here with a little bit of a pop-off moment, of course, with his sniper no-scope shot. Great play, to say the least, and something we can all learn from through and through. Now, moving back to Sinatra. Once again, in this example, a hot hand setup in window and a flash and swing right. You see, Sinatra is basically setting up these raw 1v1s, and it makes it so he almost never takes a disadvantaged fight, or he uses his abilities to level the playing field. In this case, basically zoning away the Omen on the right from hookah and committing to the left with his flash, and then always he will dominate these 1v1s mechanically. You need to also practice your hot hands because Sinatra's basically Kobeing, rest in peace, these hot hands from across the map, and if you don't practice them, you're never going to be able to land them exactly the way you want to, but obviously Sinatra has put in the practice into using this ability. Now, I really want you to watch Sinatra's footwork and counter strafing here. Left of the box spray, counter strafe, right of the box spray, counter strafe, left of the box spray, counter strafe. Every single time he stops, he's perfectly accurate, and he's very mobile, and he kills the enemy opper. Now, we sadly can't see because of the camera not being on Sinatra, which is always a mistake. Sinatra just trades with his team and engage, and basically his setup opened this team fight, so it's definitely the way that you want to set up your engagements, using your abilities to basically block off one avenue of play from the enemy, and then using the rest of your abilities to engage on the other enemies that are playing point or wherever you're trying to engage. Now, I gotta talk about this next engagement by Sinatra because he's straight up Leroy Jenkins this hoe. I mean, chums up, let's do this. He ults, runs it down mid, and he uses the enemy cyber cage to actually set up his flash and aggro onto the enemy where he kills 2 people. Now, I'm sure you all have baiters in your games, pop flashers who are just baiting you, waiting for you to go in and treating you like information Andes, but Sinatra is basically like the anti-baiter, and I really do love his unfiltered aggression, and he's never afraid to use enemy smokes or cages in order to set up his flashes, because you got to remember, a flash that comes out of a cage or a smoke is going to be way harder to turn on. It's going to be very unexpected, and of course Sinatra gets many kills using this strategy. Now, in this final clip, we're going to cover Asuna comes out and noob tubes someone into next week, but Sinatra easily punishes this, knowing where Asuna is and swinging inside the smoke to kill him. Once again, he uses the enemy's own smoke to set up for his own play, which 100% he converts on a kill, which is something that you should be doing. I talked about it before, but it is very good, and the enemy Omen was basically completely caught off surprise. But as a lesson from him, you should almost never be playing out near a smoke in the open up against against a Phoenix because they can set up these flash plays just like Sinatra does. It is poor positioning up against specifically that play because you're never going to be able to turn on it in time. Now, Sinatra ends this game with a fat 34 kills. I mean, what the heck is this guy made of? And he's not baiting. He's not playing passively. He is pressing W. He is going in. He is creating opportunity for his team. This guy is an absolute Chad among Chads right now in the Valorant scene, and he's definitely someone that we can learn from because he's not opping, being very aggressive and consistent, and just using his abilities to set up these really favorable positions slash trades with enemies that I love again and again. But if you want to make sure that you master this type of gameplay, you want to master Phoenix or any other character in the game, definitely go check out GameLeap.com. Right now we have a 50% off special, so don't miss out on this insane opportunity, and I can't wait to see you there. Anyways, thanks so much for coming by. I'm Coach Mills, and of course, until next time.